Welcome to Project Planning and Control, PPNC. Foundations for Integrated Program Success. This is Course 1, Module 3. Module 3 will cover the proposal process so you can understand the role PPNC plays in translating customer requirements into a credible, executable program baseline. Module 3 details the entire proposal process for bidding government contracts. We cover 3 key elements: solicitations, the request for proposal or RFP, and how the contractor mobilizes the proposal team. The most critical role for PPNC in the proposal process is translating the RFP requirements into a credible and executable technical and cost baseline. We will also walk through the color team review sequence to understand the level of rigor required to fully refine and polish the proposal prior to submission. These are the core competencies you'll gain throughout this module on the proposal process. You should come away confident in understanding solicitations and navigating the key RFP sections, B, C, F, L, and M, and understanding what each one governs and how they influence the overall response. You'll also see how the color team review sequence, blue, pink, red, green, and gold, acts as a series of quality gates, strengthening the proposal at each stage and ensuring it is submission ready. Finally, you should be able to clearly explain how PPNC translates RFP requirements into the project's initial cost and schedule baseline, connecting the proposal to executable plans. Let's take a closer look at the 2 most common types of solicitations you'll encounter. First, there's full and open competition. This is exactly what it sounds like: an open playing field where any qualified organization can submit a bid. That said, there can still be nuances, like situations where a sole source option is included, but overall, you're competing against a broad and often highly capable pool. Because of that, proposals in this space typically need to be especially thorough and backed by a very detailed and carefully developed cost estimate, to include subcontractor cost data. Small business set-asides are procurements reserved for small businesses, typically for contracts below certain dollar thresholds. Their purpose is to give smaller firms a fair opportunity to compete without being overshadowed by larger organizations. These distinctions are more important than they may initially appear. Each solicitation type shapes the competitive landscape, influencing both the level of competition and the expectations for your proposal. That, in turn, determines how much detail, rigor, and precision are needed in your cost estimate and overall strategy. Let's walk through some of the key SBA categories, starting with a few you'll see frequently in practice. First, the Hub Zone program focuses on driving economic growth in historically underutilized areas. If your business is located in and hires from these zones, you can compete for set-aside and some sole source opportunities. Next, the Service-Disabled Veteran-Owned Small Business (STVOSB) program creates contracting opportunities specifically for businesses owned by service-disabled veterans, including both set-asides and sole source awards. Then there's the broader Small Disadvantaged Business (SDB) category, which includes firms owned by socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. Many 8A firms fall under this umbrella, making it an important classification in federal contracting. You'll also encounter Total Small Business Set-Asides, which are open to any qualified small business, regardless of socioeconomic designation. These are some of the most common opportunities and often very competitive. Finally, the WSB and EDWAS programs are designed to support women-owned businesses, particularly in industries where women are underrepresented, with both set-aside and limited sole source opportunities. Altogether, these categories are a core part of the government's acquisition strategy. This slide introduces the core team that brings a proposal together. Each role plays a specific part in shaping, developing, and delivering a proposal. Next, we'll break down what each of them contributes to the process. The capture lead is the individual responsible for driving the overall strategy to win the opportunity. This role focuses on shaping the win themes, developing compelling customer messaging, and positioning the team competitively. The capture lead also owns the broader business development approach, managing the customer relationship throughout the pre-proposal phase and ensuring alignment between the organization's business objectives and the proposal strategy. Ultimately, the capture lead ensures that all efforts are coordinated around a clear and effective path to winning. The proposal manager serves as the central coordinator for the entire proposal effort. This role leads and manages the development process from start to finish, establishing the proposal schedule, building the compliance matrix, and assigning responsibilities across the team. The proposal manager ensures that every section meets the solicitation requirements and that all deadlines are met. In addition, this role facilitates key review cycles, such as color team reviews, and oversees final production to ensure a complete, compliant, and high-quality submission. The solutions architect is responsible for designing the technical or programmatic solution that addresses the customer's needs. This role ensures the solution is both innovative and practical, fully aligned with the requirements outlined in the solicitation. The solutions architect works closely with the cost and project teams to integrate the technical approach with the management and pricing strategies. In addition, this role authors or supports the development of the technical sections of the proposal, ensuring the solution is clearly communicated and compelling. The project manager provides the practical perspective needed to ensure the proposed approach can actually be executed. This role brings insight into project execution, scheduling, and risk, helping to ground the solution in real-world delivery considerations. The project manager ensures the overall approach is realistic, achievable, and properly aligned with available resources. This role also contributes to the development of management and staffing plans and helps validate that the commitments made in the proposal are feasible and can be successfully delivered. Without this input, there is a significant risk that the technical and cost solutions may not be executable. The cost lead is responsible for developing the cost volume, including the basis of estimate and overall pricing strategy. This role ensures that all cost elements are compliant with solicitation instructions and applicable government standards. The cost lead works closely with the technical and project leads to ensure the proposed costs are fully aligned with the solution and execution approach. In addition, this role supports trade studies and sensitivity analyses, helping to inform a competitive and well-balanced bid strategy. The book bosses across management, technical, and past performance are responsible for leading and completing their respective proposal volumes. Each serves as the central point of accountability for their section, ensuring content is fully developed, compliant, and cohesive. The management volume lead oversees the development of the management volume, coordinating authors across all subsections. Similarly, the technical volume lead leads the technical volume, ensuring all contributors are aligned and the solution is clearly and effectively presented. The past performance lead is responsible for developing the past performance section, ensuring relevant experience is accurately captured and aligned to the customer's evaluation criteria. Together, these leads ensure each volume is complete, consistent, and ready for submission as part of a fully integrated proposal. This table breaks down how to think about an RFP beyond just reading it. It's really about understanding how each section shapes the overall approach. At a high level, some sections define what has to be done, like the scope of work, while others drive how to respond, particularly when it comes to pricing strategy and how a proposal will ultimately be evaluated. Just as important are the instructions and formatting requirements, which ensure bidders stay fully compliant and avoid being eliminated on technicalities. The key takeaway is that every section plays a role in shaping a company's strategy, messaging, and final submission. When you understand how they all connect, you're in a much better position to build or evaluate a proposal. This chart summarizes how proposals are evaluated across key RFP areas, linking each factor to both the assessment criteria and where it is documented in the RFP. Evaluators assess technical feasibility, management approach, schedule achievability, cost realism, and risk mitigation within their respective volumes, while compliance is reviewed across all sections. Together, these factors balance the evaluation of capability, execution, and adherence to requirements. RFPs typically require several volumes that demonstrate a proposer's capability across key areas. These include management, technical, cost, past performance, and a transition plan, each addressing specific aspects of execution, approach, and experience. In some cases, such as NASA procurements, the management and technical volumes may be combined and referred to as mission suitability. This table depicts the key proposal activities, starting with the initial RFP intake and moving all the way through final submission. It begins with reviewing the RFP or RFQ to fully understand the customer's objectives and key requirements, which results in a compliance matrix to guide the effort. From there, the team establishes the proposal schedule, building in key milestones like color team reviews and submission deadlines to keep everything on track. Once the process is underway, the kickoff meeting aligns the team, clarifying roles, responsibilities, and expectations, while providing the tools and templates needed to execute efficiently. At the same time, the proposal strategy is developed, defining the solution approach, win themes, and key differentiators that will shape the messaging. As the proposal progresses, the team moves into solution development, where technical, management, and pricing components are built out into draft volumes. Finally, the proposal goes through the color team review process to validate content, address gaps, and ensure everything is aligned and ready before submitting the final proposal. The proposal review process is structured around a series of color team reviews, each with a distinct purpose and focus. These reviews build on one another, progressively strengthening the proposal, from early strategy and organization to final validation and executive readiness. At each stage, the team evaluates different aspects of the proposal to ensure it is aligned with customer expectations, clearly articulated, competitive, and ultimately positioned to win. The following slides outline each review and the specific role it plays in shaping a high-quality, compliant, and compelling submission. We begin the crucial quality gates with the blue team review to develop the strategy. This first review locks in the win themes, evaluation criteria, and is used to identify significant strengths. The team conducts a mini review of competitors' likely approaches and counter-strategies, oftentimes conducted separately and called a black hat review. The blue team review forces critical decisions on scope, technical approach, and any necessary teaming agreements. The blue team strategy also focuses on the financial components. This is where the price to win is set, along with key decisions on the contract type and risk posture. The team defines the full production plan and builds the initial risk register to track issues and mitigation plans. The most successful proposals manage strategy, cost, schedule, and risk in a completely integrated way from this stage forward. The blue team also places a strong emphasis on developing and validating the proposed technical and management solutions. During this phase, the primary objective is to identify and address any gaps, risks, or weaknesses in the approach early in the process. The team ensures that all aspects of the solution are directly aligned with the customer's needs and evaluation criteria, reinforcing a clear connection between requirements and the proposed approach. This stage also represents the first critical integration point, where the technical solution is aligned with preliminary cost estimates and schedule considerations. As the review concludes, the team confirms that the technical, management, and cost approaches are fully aligned with the overall win strategy established earlier. The blue team formally defines the solution architecture and assigns responsibilities to subject matter experts for further development. Successful completion of this phase indicates that the core strategy and initial solution are sound, aligned, and ready to advance to the next stage of proposal development. The pink team review represents the first major evaluation of the proposal's initial full draft. At this stage, reviewers focus on overall clarity, narrative flow, and how persuasive the content is shaping up. The team looks closely at compliance and completeness, while also identifying any gaps, weak arguments, or areas where the messaging lacks clarity. A key role of the Pink team is to ensure that when themes and customer benefits are clearly articulated and consistently woven throughout the proposal before moving into the more rigorous Red Team review. In addition to providing structured, actionable feedback, the team helps prepare the proposal for deeper critique by strengthening both the narrative and supporting content. This review serves as an important checkpoint, catching compliance issues and content gaps early in the process. Ultimately, the Pink team serves as an early checkpoint to gain valuable insight into the proposal's progress and overall quality. The Red Team review represents the final, independent evaluation of the proposal, providing a fresh assessment of the near-final draft, often conducted by reviewers who are not involved in earlier stages. At this point, the proposal is evaluated strictly from the customer's perspective, with a focus on clarity, responsiveness to requirements, and overall persuasiveness. The team also verifies full compliance, ensuring that all solicitation instructions, evaluation criteria, and contractual requirements have been thoroughly addressed and properly aligned. In addition, the Red Team conducts a competitive assessment to evaluate how effectively the proposal differentiates itself, highlighting strengths while addressing and mitigating potential weaknesses. The review also identifies any remaining risks across technical, management, cost, or past performance areas that could impact the submission. A final quality and consistency check ensures the proposal flows well, is easy to read, and maintains consistency across all volumes, including formatting, graphics, and overall presentation. Ultimately, the Red Team provides leadership with a clear recommendation on whether the proposal is ready to move forward for final production and submission. The Gold Team review represents the final executive approval gate in the proposal process. At this stage, senior leadership ensures the proposal is fully responsive to the solicitation and aligned with the organization's strategic objectives. This review confirms that all requirements have been met and that the proposal is polished, cohesive, and free of errors. The Gold Team also validates the overall win strategy, ensuring the value proposition and key differentiators are clear, compelling, and effectively communicated. In addition, leadership evaluates any remaining risks or gaps, confirming that weaknesses have been addressed and that any residual risks are acceptable. Ultimately, the Gold Team provides final executive sign-off, confirming the proposal is ready for production and submission. The Green Team review is the final evaluation stage focused on pricing validation and overall proposal readiness. At this point, the team confirms the pricing strategy, verifies the final cost, and ensures alignment with the capture strategy and customer expectations. Reviewers validate the proposal is fully compliant, accurate, and consistent across all volumes, with particular attention to ensuring that pricing aligns with the technical and management approaches. The Green Team also confirms all Red Team comments and required actions have been addressed and closed, serving as the final quality gate either before executive review or submission. This stage emphasizes completeness, clarity, and cohesion across the entire document. The review includes checks for accuracy, readability, and consistency in messaging, formatting, and presentation. Ultimately, the Green Team represents the last opportunity to ensure the proposal is compliant, competitive, and ready for submission. This chart serves as a valuable summary reference, providing a concise overview of all 5 Color Team review objectives. It highlights the distinct focus of each stage. Blue centers on strategy, pink on draft quality, red on overall winnability, gold on executive approval, and green on submission readiness. Overall, this chart functions as a practical matrix that can be used as a quick reference guide when preparing for or supporting any Color Team review. The primary criteria the government uses to evaluate a proposal includes 2 main selection methods: lowest cost and best value, the latter representing a trade-off between technical merit and price. Criteria often give importance of full compliance with the RFP, while also underscoring the role of past performance and key personnel as critical discriminators in the evaluation process. The weight of price competitiveness varies depending on whether the award is based on lowest cost or best value. Overall, proposals are assessed on the government's defined evaluation criteria. These 3 questions test your retention of the proposal process module. The evaluation criteria are the scoreboard because they tell you exactly how the customer will judge your submission. Distinguish between the proposal manager, who runs the process, and the solutions architect, who designs the approach. The difference between pink team, draft quality, and red team, win/loss rigor, is a common exam topic. Now we're going to shift a bit from the fundamentals and government funding over to the industry perspective. The core PP&C concepts don't really change, but what does change is the motivation. For contractors, it's all about profit. So if you're going to be an effective integrator, it's important to understand how these companies actually operate and what drives their decisions. Once you understand the financial side, a lot of what you see, whether it's scheduling, prioritization, or how work gets completed, starts to make a lot more sense.